There is negotiation, the journey, and there is negotiation, the event. And too often, we only focus on the latter, which is the event. Oh, here I am. Tom and I, we're swapping numbers. He says I'm 2% high. I say, let's meet in the middle. Boom, done it. That's how we roll, right? That is the event. When we're sitting across from each other, when we're haggling, there might be a concession or two. We might even call it a concession.
Put that coffee down.
Creators are leaders. Be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here.
Helen, we're both in sales.
Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman.
They realized that to be in power, you didn't need guns or money or even numbers. You just needed the will to do what the other guy wouldn't.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on.
Well, hello there, friend. Welcome to the Construction Leadership Podcast, where we deliver ideas and insights from leaders across the construction industry every single week to help you lead more effectively. Now, I'm excited to bring to you today our third installment in our mini series we have going on here in support of the registration for our fourth annual, our 2023 edition of the Sales Fundamentals Workshop. That is going to be held April 10th through 12th in Fort Worth, Texas. And we have sold out every single one. And our goal, our expectation is we're going to sell out the only 75 seats that we have remaining, because 15 seats of those are already allotted to our outside sales rep, OSR Academy, who are absolutely coming because they're all stars. So if you are in sales leadership in any way, shape, or form, or you're a sales rep, or maybe that's an inside sales rep or an outside sales rep or a business development manager, another euphemism for someone selling something by delivering value and simplifying their life and delivering solutions. If you're any of those things, you should absolutely come to our Sales Fundamentals Workshop. You have my guarantee it will change your life. It's April 10th through 12th. We have amazing food. We have amazing people. We curate the entire experience. We load you on buses. We go do cool things, and we have some good drinks. And ultimately, it's all around our sales fundamentals, which is goal setting, prospecting, timeline management, and pipeline management, which is why the first two episodes in this mini series were on 2 episodes ago, was on pipeline management, something that we absolutely need to do a better job on when we forecast with discipline and consistency. And our last episode, which was on time management. Now, if you're listening to this so far and you're saying, well, I'm not really in sales, I'm kind of a fill in the blank. Well, guess what? More than likely, you need to manage your time better. Why? Because all human beings struggle with managing your time. It is a journey. It is not a destination. So I don't care what your title is. If you have not listened to that previous episode on time management, you've not downloaded our weekly game plan, that tool, which I developed over the course of the last 4 years, constantly iterating, has absolutely changed my life. We have several hundred other people that have gone through our program that has made their priorities more clear and their goals more achievable. So go check that out. That is the weekly game plan. Listen to that episode, follow the instructions, go to bradleyhartmanandco.com/tools, and then enter the password Hartman, all lowercase, and download the weekly game plan. We put the whole thing in there. It's 100% free. Do we sell it? Yes, we do. Can you get it for free? Yep, right here. Get the whole thing. See if it works for you. And that brings us today to one of my most favorite subjects. I'm constantly learning about it. I'm constantly fascinated by it. It's this combination of two things that people really struggle with. It is emotions. That's right. Negotiation is a lot about emotions, and finances. The number one reason people get divorced is, it is not infidelity, although that's a close number 2. It is finances, a different philosophy when it comes to finances. Yes, human beings, and especially combinations of two human beings, struggle to manage their finances well. We struggle to articulate it. We struggle to talk about it. We struggle to plan for it. And then I will not go into detail, but I do believe you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Lots of listeners and people in the construction industry, we struggle to articulate our feelings, our emotions very well. So it's not surprising that negotiation, which is fundamentally about finances and about emotions, it would be a struggle for many of us to negotiate well in our personal lives and our professional lives because we struggle to articulate our emotions about the finances. Now, I am passionate about this, and while I was at Pulte Homes, every year when I was in purchasing, we got training on this topic. And we had a bunch of other kind of nerds like me in that department who loved thinking about it and talking about it and trying different strategies. And the setting of being a purchasing manager for an area, 7 different markets of buying material and labor, and doing it at that volume, it was an incredibly valuable laboratory to learn about the effects of negotiation. So the first point I will make is that there is negotiation, the journey, and there is negotiation, the event. And too often we only focus on the latter, which is the event. Oh, here I am. Tom and I were swapping numbers. He says I'm 2% high. I say, let's meet in the middle. Boom, done it. That's how we roll, right? That is the event when we're sitting across from each other, when we're haggling. There might be a concession or two. We might even call it a concession. We might even try to get a volume discount. This is the negotiation event. However, the negotiation, the journey, I argue, begins long before the first time you and I meet. I could even argue it's the first time I go to your website, when I understand who you are, what you do, how you deliver value, and how you make life for guys like me better. You simplify my life, you deliver solutions. And if you're only focusing on negotiation, the event, you will continue to compete on price. But if you can change the mindset and start delivering value and delivering insights and tell people up front, I am not going to be the lowest cost provider here. Do you still want to continue? Because we help a host of people just like you. And that needs to begin, naturally, where it should, at the beginning. So first point, keep in mind there's negotiation, the journey that begins at the very first time you meet somebody, and you have negotiation, the event. Keep those both in mind. Point number 2, keep in mind the best negotiation position is having a strong pipeline. Again, flashback. That's why we talked about pipeline management before negotiation. If I have a pipeline stocked full of great opportunities, you know what I can do? I can walk in with a higher priced product, tell people about all the ways that we love working with our clients, delivering unique solutions. And if they don't buy, I don't care. You know why? Because I'm busting my ass all across the country, helping other people who do value what I do. If I don't get this job, that's okay. There's a lot of fish in the sea. But if your pipeline is low and you need this to work and you don't know how you're going to put food on the table for Christmas, if this deal doesn't go through, guess what? That creates a little thing called desperation. And it stinks like the old cartoons where you can actually see the stink emanating from the animal. Desperation reeks. So if you have a strong pipeline, you can really go in and negotiate with confidence without lowering your margin. All right, we've set the table there. I'm going to point out the 3 questions you need to ask to develop in your personal life, because if you do not negotiate consistently in your personal life, it's really, really hard to negotiate well in your professional life. It's practice. It's a muscle. If you don't use it, it's going to atrophy. So I have shared this 3-question framework consistently. It has worked for, a couple of years ago for my 9-year-old son. And it literally has worked last week with a distributor that we're working with, where we're training 4 of their salespeople to negotiate better. And 3 of them collectively saved over $1,100 in the last 3 weeks. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but this is really just doing some very simple things. And I always start with this. Question number 1, when somebody gives you a price, number 1 is this your best price? Shut your mouth. Let the silence hang in there and affect them, not you. Question number 2, if they say, yes, this is my best price, go on to question number 2. Are there any promotions or discounts available that I should be aware of? Very simple question. Again, let silence do the work. And then the 3rd question is, I'm trying to save for, and fill in the blank with something large and meaningful. I might use my 2 sons' college education. That's going to be like $1 million a piece for some local JUCO. All right. So That's the 3-step framework. And I have introduced this in the past and we've gotten good feedback and people have reported saving lots of money. I didn't come up with this. I just compiled it and I can tell you it works. Question number 1, hey, is this your best price? Oftentimes they'll say, I'll see what I can do, right? Boom, you're saving money. Question number 2, are there any promotions or discounts available, right? And question number 3, if they say, yes, this is my best price, no, there are no promotions, and no, there are no discounts, say, I'm trying to save for my son's education. Is there any way I can reduce the overall cost of this investment? That is the question. If you use this 3-step framework consistently, I promise you on a long enough timeline, and that timeline might just be like 3 or 4 instances, you will save money, and it very well may be in the hundreds of dollars. So that's how to apply it in your personal life. Now let's switch to your professional life. So I'm writing a short book. It's going to be about 120 pages or so, large font, lots of photos. I know how you guys like it. That's how I like to write it. Okay. It's going to be 125 pages on negotiation in the lumber and building material space. We're about done with our second round of edits. I hope to have it out by the end of the year. It is part of our professional sales field manual series where everyone has a short book, a series of videos, audio, and some PDF workbook content that you can download to implement these strategies. So I'm going to jump into part 3, and this is chapter 3.5. Here we go. The definition of a bad question. If you can find out the answer to a question with a bit of effort ahead of time, don't ask it. It's a bad question. For example, when at Pulte Homes, I would often abruptly end meetings with sales professionals when they asked how many closings we delivered in the prior year. Why? Because as a publicly traded company, that info was publicly available, as were our sales and profits. If the sales rep wasn't going to invest the time to adequately prepare for a meeting, I didn't consider it my job to educate them. Do your homework and come back when you're ready, I'd kindly say. Now, upon return, the rep would say something like this. Now, Bradley, I know you closed 1,145 homes last year, but here's what I don't know. Which goals or initiatives from last year were not achieved? What are your growth goals for this year? That is better. Chapter 3.6, 4 big questions. Now, here are the 4 big questions that are a corollary to our 3 questions you ask in your personal life. These are the 4 big questions you should ask in your professional life. There are 4 critical questions you'll want to start triangulating at the first meeting. Question number 1, does this person have the ability to say yes? You only want to negotiate with people who can say yes. Lots of people can say no. Only a few can say yes. Question number 2, is there a quote unquote guy behind the guy? Who is it? In the understated sales film, I would argue, from 1996, Swingers, Trent, played by Vince Vaughn, stops a Vegas casino waitress and says about his friend Mike,
"Excuse me, darling, I'm sorry. Wow. I want you to remember this face here, okay? This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy."
Okay.
I want you to remember this face here, okay? This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy. Now, this is what you need to find out. Is there an influential person in the background that you need to be aware of in order to close the deal? Question number 3, does this person or company in this situation buy solely on price? Ask for what you want. If they say, yes, we buy on price, okay. Well, now you've got a decision to make. If they say no, then you'll hold them accountable to that later. And question number 4, what is their current buying philosophy? Do they prefer to bundle products and services? Or do they prefer to unbundle? Do they want a sole source provider? Or do they want quote unquote bench strength? Do they have a central purchasing department? Or do they buy locally? Or both? These answers are often cyclical. They change. They may be easy to come by or maybe not, but keep them top of mind and earn the answers. So again, the 4 big questions I want you to think about. I want you to ask when you are in a professional setting early in the negotiation journey, not the event. These are, number 1, does this person have the ability to say yes? Number 2, is there a guy behind the guy? Who is it? Number 3, does this person or company in this situation buy solely on price? And 4, what is the current buying philosophy? So there you go. You've got 3 negotiation questions to ask in your personal life. Is this your best price? Are there any promotions or discounts I should be aware of? And number 3, I'm trying to save for fill in the blank of something large and meaningful. Is there any way we can lower the overall cost of this investment? Try that out in your personal life. Share this with your girlfriend or boyfriend or spouse or children. Have them try this out. You will find it works. And when it does, please let me know. You can email me directly at bradley@bradleyhartmanandco.com. And those 4 professional questions I just mentioned, does this person have the ability to say yes? Is there a guy behind the guy? Who is it? Does this person or company in the situation buy solely on price? And what is the current buying philosophy? That's 3 questions for your personal life and 4 questions for your professional life. They will help you negotiate better. And what will also help you negotiate better? Us going much deeper in this topic at the Sales Fundamentals Workshop. There's only 75 seats. We will sell out on or shortly after Friday, November 11th. If you're in sales leadership or business development or as a sales rep or even an inside sales pro, you should be there. I promise you, it'll change your life. You're going to meet new people. It's going to be very interactive and engaging. We also have monthly accountability calls, which are calls every month when we have past Sales Fundamentals Workshop alumni connect online to support each other, answer questions, and improve the overall state of the sales industry. We also have the Behind Your Back Book Club, which sends out a book every quarter to stay sharp. They're simple, highly recommended books that will also help you grow. Now, the investment is $34.95. However, that includes everything other than the flight and the Uber to the hotel. All food, all drinks of various natures, all excursions. We're going to load on buses. We're going to go do cool things. All of that is included. So the only thing you're going to pay for is the flight there and the Uber to the Omni Hotel. Hotel, food, drinks, excursions, everything else is included, including the book club. And listen, you're going to get several tools that you can use throughout the rest of the year. So it's much more than just a 2-day event. And again, you should be there. It'll change your life. It's going to be awesome. And when you do register by Friday, November 11th, what do you get? Well, I'll tell you what you get. You're going to get $197 off the retail price. So you're going to save essentially $200. You're also going to get unique, one-of-a-kind, can't buy them products of the hat, Richardson 112 navy blue with our tagline, "You are owed nothing, deliver value first." A Corinthian leather keychain. Everybody needs keychains. That also says, "You are owed nothing, deliver value first." You're going to get a copy of my new book on prospecting, which will be absolutely necessary with our changing environment. And for the first 12 people that buy, they will get a limited edition old branding. That's right. It's a collector's edition. Our old branding that will have the Behind Your Back sales company, which doesn't exist anymore. You'll get a Yeti worth, well, pretty much anything that has the Yeti logo is really expensive. So we're going to include that on the first 12 people that buy. So the giving never ends. All right, I'm done here. We're going to close out like we always do. You, my friend, are owed nothing. Deliver value first. Make it a great day.